You know, one thing that I think a lot of young professionals deal with, it's the idea of imposter syndrome, right? It's this idea that when we walk into a room, do we belong in that room? Does our voice matter? And I'm literally here to tell you and remind you of something, that our voice does matter. Like, authenticity is your power. Every time when you meet an individual, understand that, like Maya Angelou said, they're coming as one person, but they stand as 10,000. There are adversities that they've been through. There are obstacles that they've overcome. They walk into that room with something different. There's a spirit inside of them that you have to get to know. And oftentimes, for many of us as young professionals, we forget that power that we have. Like, there's a story inside of you that's burning, but it only burns as long as we're able to tell it. Like, we have to show up in the room and know that our authentic self is everything that we need to connect with the people that are around us. We also have to know that every room that we walk into, we belong there. We belong there. Like, we can't wait for someone to give us a pass or someone to give us a word to say, now you belong. Your authenticity, your realness, everything that is about you makes you capable of what you're doing. Like, you're already enough. You're sitting in a moment and you're thinking, man, what if I had the title? What if I had the dream together? What if I had the resources? If I had everything if I went to that school, then, if I came from that family background, then I would step up. And the crazy part about it is, the power in your story has already qualified you. Like, you're good right now. And sometimes we need that reminder. Each and every one of us have to kind of bounce off each other and inspire each other to let you know, I hear you, I see you. My word should empower you and your story empowers me. Let us move in community in that way and understand that you have something that I don't have to offer and I have something that might benefit you. Every person that I meet is in some way my superior, and in that way I shall learn from him. Like, let's do this thing together. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about two things. Number one, understand that your voice matters. Show up in your community. Show up the way that you are. Show up with something inside of you that makes sure that every time that you speak, you're speaking on the behalf of the best version of yourself. Like, there's something that calls to you. When I started out, I didn't understand the route that I was going, but I knew the experience of the college student. I knew how it felt to not know what the next step was. The reason why I wrote How to Network in College was to give that misguided student a template, a guide, so that they know that whatever room they walk into, they have everything that they need to make the connections that they need to. And oftentimes what I'm learning is it's not about just making the connections, but it's understanding the power of your own voice. That's it. Your uniqueness, your voice, who you are right now matters. We're at a point in time in our community, in our society, that we need everyone to be vocal at the table. We are no longer at a point where there's someone at the head. I need to hear both my mentee's perspective and my mentor's perspective. I need to come into a room and understand that the conversation will be mutually beneficial. And if we can understand that as millennials, as young people, as leaders, if we can understand that as young professionals, as we build this new world, 2020 has given us something new. And the best thing that we can understand without a doubt is that leadership is not a title. Leadership is the actions that we take. Leadership is not a noun. Leadership is the verb. It's what we're doing. It's how we show up. It's the voice that we use. It's the authenticity that allows us to tell our story in our way. So you ask, what would I say to young professionals who are trying to make the most of 2020? Who are trying to make sure that they end this year much better than it started? I'd say this simply. When you show up in the room, know that you belong there. When you show up in the room, know that you belong there. Without a doubt, there is something special. Intuitively, you know exactly what you are supposed to put on the table. Oftentimes, what happens for many of us is that fear overrides faith. The opinions and the criticism of other people begin to come into our heads. It's tough because we always want to be liked. We think that our opinion or what we want to push forward needs to be accepted by everyone. And so the uniqueness of our perspective gets washed away. I challenge you to say this. Let your opinion and your perspective be criticized. Let your opinion and your perspective be looked at under a lens. But bring your very best self to the table. That's how you improve the organization that you're a part of. That's how you improve the companies that you're a part of. That's how you improve as an entrepreneur. That's how you improve as a leader in your community. You show up, you use your voice, and then you use that constructive criticism to get better each and every day. So young leaders, myself included, I have one message for you, and this is it. Take the reins on your own story. Bring authenticity to the table and never forget the power of your own voice.